Good evening and welcome to the Black Parade. My name is Imarra. Hi everybody, welcome to Dress Code. We are here, we are
Hi.
back. We have two series worth of looks to get through. Fortunately, there aren't 40 this time, which is great for me. But we do still have 20, did you say?
Yes, 20. We've got 12 and 8 today.
12 and 8. Almost a split down the middle.
Yes.
Lovely to see everybody in chat. I see that you're all talking about the episodes. Garden Plaza, I very much agree with you. UK was there. It happened. Whether it should have or not is something to be discussed, but it did happen.
Oh my god.
Uh, Lizzie's got some strong feelings on Canada's Drag Race, so there's a chance that we'll say something that will trigger something.
Yes, I was telling Amara before the show started that I'm going to try to channel all my negative energy into a haiku every week for Not On Tonight. And I really feel like that's going to be therapeutic for me as I endure this season of Canada's Drag Race.
Yes, and at the end of the season, you can purchase it here at Speakeasy for the low price of 4 easy payments of $99.99.
I'm hearing that our mics are low.
Yeah.
I'm
Oh,
just getting
Alberta
us up.
Premium. Subscribe to Tier 2. Thank you so much.
Yes,
This
thank
is 7 months.
you.
Come on.
Okay, all right, I've got that. Maybe I'll put on a little tunes because when
Just
we're
little
gonna
tunes.
rip apart some fashion.
Yeah, isn't it nice to have background music while you're just absolutely destroying someone's art?
Yes.
Just lean into it.
Okay, let's take, we got the volume down low. Lovely.
Lovely, wonderful, spectacular. Shall we go for it, in the words of Celine Dion?
Yes, I do think so. Let's see.
Let's
There,
see.
do you hear that now? No,
Nope. Oh, yep. Yes, I do.
you do. Okay, great.
Hanging out in the background. Today's been a bit of a struggle for all of us. I was telling Lizzie, my inner saboteur this week has been played by both of my eyebrows who refused to cooperate while I was doing my makeup. They're still questionable at best, so squint while looking at me this week. I will look fantastic if you were facing the other way. If you're just listening to the audio of this, you were doing it correctly. Uh, Apparently
Okay.
I'm still low, mic-wise. Maybe I'll just move it closer. Is this better? I can make it an ASMR stream.
Okay, I think we've got it. I hope we've got it.
How's that? What if I just like spend the rest of the stream like this?
For some reason, it doesn't like that.
No. Okay. How about that?
No, what's happening?
No? Yes? Maybe? Perhaps?
Everybody.
Bear with us.
Oh, you know what? I think you're okay.
I mean, I'm not okay, but hopefully my mic is.
Okay. All right. Listen, everybody, let me know. You know what? I think that was my fault. I didn't follow my own goddamn rules.
Oh no, I hate when that happens.
Yeah, the rule is you always check the sound with your eyeballs, not your ears. And I had my headphones turned up. I thought, Amara, she sounds great. Too quiet.
Too quiet.
And I give you Canada's Drag Race slides.
And here we go. Alberta Premium, thank you. My epaulets say thank you. So, our runway theme this week on Canada's Drag Race was Circus Berserkus. So we had a lot of circus, carnival, freak show inspired looks. And our first one here is Isis Couture, who was our winner last week. Definitely struggled this week in the main challenge, but I like a lot of parts of this look. I don't think the amount of fabric in the sort of like leg draping is either quite enough or like too much. Oh. Lizzie, I can't hear you anymore.
Oh, hi.
Sorry.
God, we're on it today. Okay. I was saying that I feel like normally I do not love a chap or anything chap adjacent. which this sort of is. However, I love it. I love it. I love all the layers. I love how much is going on. Red, black, white, always a great
Hmm.
combo. Had a really good sense of like this Harlequin, clowny vibe. Was not typical clown. Great ruff. Yeah, great makeup too.
Yes, I really like this styling of this. I think the thing that's sort of throwing me off is the bare leg, and the thing that I wish was part of it was I wish he'd done sort of like two different color like fishnets to
Hmm.
kind of like tie it in a little bit more. But other than that, I think the like conceptualization of this is really cool. I like this sort of consistent color story. The amount, I like the use of like pattern on top of just sort of like color blocking.
Hmm.
Um, and this is one of many sort of clown looks that we are going to see. So
Yes, and spoiler, maybe one of the better ones, maybe,
one of them, yeah.
I think.
Okay, Gia Metric as the Canadian Human Cannonball. This was just kind of uninspired for me. It was just kind of an Evil Knievel costume with some maple leaves on it, and then a helmet that didn't really look like a helmet, and a ponytail coming out the back of it. I didn't care for this.
Yeah, I liked the hair quite a bit. It's funny, the best angle we got of it, I think, was when she was having a moment in Untucked, like not such a comfortable conversation after.
Yeah.
Um, I liked this a lot when it came out, but I think that I liked the idea that she was a human cannonball. I thought that that was
Hmm.
really like a fun idea, and then during the critiques, when we got a close-up look at the helmet, I was like, oh, you shouldn't be able to deconstruct it so quickly, but you could with that one.
Yeah. It just it didn't really do anything for me. Also, I know we're not talking about these looks, but her challenge look was just a Dorian Electra cosplay.
Okay, yeah, and no one didn't see that. Everybody saw it in it. It's weird to not mention it at all.
Yeah. It was bizarre. It was just like very obviously that to me.
Yeah,
But
like would you come out in like Kiss makeup and not, you know what I mean? Like they're when a look is iconic, it's iconic and you can't just like do it and then be like, this is mine.
yeah, right. This is very much plagiarism. Um, okay, Kendall Gender as a show pony slash show girl.
Neither of which are really part of the circus, but
No, and there's folks in the chat talking about how like a human cannonball isn't really part of a circus anymore. Like I feel like it's a little closer to it than this. This reads so much as like Las Vegas showgirl and not quite as much as like, human animal hybrid or like freak show or something like that. That I think this one misses the mark a little bit more. Also, the crotch on this is really low.
yes. And the hip pads are just flat across the front.
Hmm. Also, the like little sort of like hand coverings don't really look like hooves to me.
Okay. So she comes out and she says, "What? She's half pony, half showgirl?" I was like, "No, you have a slight fetish take on showgirl, and you've put these really odd, just like tiny looking boxing mitts, like stuffed black thumbless
Yeah,
mitts on."
they look like those like winter boots for dogs. But
Okay, what the positive thing I will say about this look is I loved the way that the hair fit with the eyebrows, fit with the
yes,
helmet. Like there's a really nice layered thing happening there. But there was there was a perfect opportunity for her to be like, I am those beautiful women that bring out the animals into the ring. And,
yeah,
like, there's that. But no, no, that's not what it was. It was half showgirl, half show pony. Just, yeah.
yeah. I will say like I do really like the headpiece. I think that I
Yes.
mean anything with that amount of ostrich feathers on it is expensive as fuck. Also probably pretty heavy. But I mean, Kendall is not a petite drag performer, so like the use of shape in the upper body, I think that really helps sort of like proportionize that part of the look, but everything's kind of from the waist down loses me.
Yeah, same. I do though like the ostrich feather trim on the top of the leg parts. That's
Yes.
cute.
Allison, I don't know if those are the hand coverings for puck play. I feel like those are a little more like boxing glove like they sort of go over the wrist. But I could be wrong. I'm not super knowledgeable about fetish wear and kink paraphernalia.
Yeah, and she does look really nice in
She
purple.
does look. I mean, purple is one of my favorite colors, so I'm also a little bit biased. But okay, Eve 6000. This looks ridiculous, just like from this angle. For those of you who didn't see it, the back of it is a fully sort of realized lion, and she has been eaten by it. She is peeking out from the interior of the mouth. I didn't love this. I feel like this was relying a lot on sort of like a joke and a gimmick, and like not in an effectively delivered way. Because also like the whole sort of like animal taming thing is like, I believe what she was trying to go for is like those people who like get, you know, big cats, lions, tigers, and things to like open their mouths and then put their heads in to show it's just like, ooh, look at the, you know, look at the risks that I'm taking. Look at how dangerous I am. This just reads as like she's been eaten by it and is wearing its body.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like it's a creative way to present this in like a wearable look. Um, I feel like though it might not have been too wearable. I think that this was actually a very difficult outfit to wear. I think it was pretty like stiff and only had motion in the way that it was planned to have. Um, I thought that I really liked this. This really I thought it was kind of out of the box. I've only ever seen Eve do like super pageanty glamour, so it was fun to see a silly look so early in. Um, yeah,
I think the thing that's bothering me is like this reads as a mascot costume.
yes, there. Yeah, yeah, I can see that. I can see that. The head being the size it is definitely does it, but I guess that adds to the like joke of it.
Yeah, it's it's confusing to me because I don't know if she's supposed to be the lion or be the person inside the lion as well. I think Allison makes a good point. It's like where, like, I wish she'd been swallowed from kind of like a different level of her body or from a different area, so we got a little more read on one or the other.
Oh, okay, all right. Yeah, this I feel like this was I think she posted on Instagram. This took 3 people to conceive and put together. I mean, for me, this was one of my faves, but I can see all the critiques, and I also see what Kraft is saying that the paint was, I don't know, it was just a little kind of plain, I think, for clown, but yeah,
Again, you know, we're getting another clown paint essentially.
yeah, totally.
All right, Océan Aqua Black.
Before we talk about this, I need
Yes.
to show you this. Why? Why are we
I think
wearing
she only
these?
brought one pair of shoes.
Yeah, I think so. And they've really been showcased. Anyway, just
They,
needed for us
those
to.
shoes have gotten more airtime than she has.
It's just like
I know.
when I
As
saw
soon
the
as she
shoes
came around
come
the
up.
corner, and I was just like, I saw the silhouette of it, and I was like, those fucking shoes.
I know, I know.
That's
Wow.
it.
So, how did you feel about this look?
I like the campiness of it. Again, umbrellas were also kind of a theme. Like one of those things that just sort of showed up. I liked just how big it was. Like, Osea is a large person. Her drag is very campy. It's very big, and like, I think being the entire circus tent was a smart move. I don't think she needed the umbrella personally, and I also wish that if you're going to do something like this, I would have liked to see a little more attention paid to kind of like the interior of the tent, and making that a little more interesting, especially if it's going to be sort of like opened up like that. But I like this conceptually.
Yeah, I feel okay. So I feel like we saw some really not fully developed drag looks from Ocean. Or, like she said, she's bringing entertainment and saying whatever she wants. And for her, she doesn't think so much about the makeup and stuff like that.
Mm.
And I thought that, that being said, compared to the other outfits she brought, this one looks like she put a huge contrasting amount of work into this than the others. So I was excited to see it because I thought, okay, now this is a bit more. But then I thought, that we've got. I don't. I don't love the makeup. I don't think it has a. It's. I don't think it's sharing the point of view as the outfit. I didn't like that there was no hair with it, especially after the Rusical, because
Mm.
I wanted to see a bit more glam after that was kind of so busted.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, she didn't change her makeup from the challenge to the runway, so this was just the same look. And I'm again, we just talked about it. Like Oceane's sort of mo is that like she is a performer, she is an entertainer, and like the aesthetics very much come secondary to her, and that's fine. That's totally fine. I think this was a really like accurate and sort of like true to form representation of how she can like perform a look, for lack of a better word. It feels kind of like sort of like a parade float or a parade costume or something like that. And do I wish that there had been some things that had changed? Yes. There were also like strings of lights in and around and sort of like underneath that you didn't really get to see because of all the like studio lighting, so you couldn't tell that there was like a lighting effect to it. But I think this was her strongest look, and it's a bit of a shame that this is spoiler alert the one she went out on. But at least she
Yeah.
finished strong.
So Garden Plaza puts a thing in the chat that I think is like a sentiment that, like, her life story was wild, unwilling to excuse everything she wore, and her personality was so funny, and she brought the best confessionals, like the talking from the side and
Oh, she's great.
yes, but here's where I feel weird about it is that if we continually are going this direction where storyline can potentially be more important than the drag, then what would everybody keep trying for? And why wouldn't it just become a show about the story, I don't want to lose what this is. If we need more queer programming that showcases amazing people like this, then that's great. But it feels strange to repurpose the show as like a yeah, as that to me. Does that make sense? Am I being too like strict about it?
I think it's. I don't think you're being too strict about it. I think it's just there's an understanding of what like doing drag is, and there's an understanding of what doing drag race is. And I think Ocean is one of those people who came into the competition to do drag, not necessarily to do drag race. And we've kind of been conditioned over the past several years and like multitudes of seasons, particularly of the American Drag Race, where we kind of like understand the formula and we know what to expect, and the way that things have been like presented and edited, particularly in that leg of the franchise, is very much about these people are coming to do drag race, which to me is still very different from just doing drag. So Ocean's like perspective and presentation feel very refreshing, and it feels like so forgivable because I don't think she's trying to be a television personality. And that's the thing that people are latching onto is like this is a very real person. And I don't think that the storyline is something that is going to like excuse the looks. I don't think that the focus on that is something that's going to like detract from like Drag Race as a whole. I just think it highlights the fact that there is this divide between what people are going into the show to do and how they're approaching it.
Yeah. And I think we have to remember that casting is not that they get a bunch of people they think are equal talent and they can't wait to see who wins. They definitely cast people thinking when they're going to go home and when their stories are going to actually come through. And so, yeah, it makes sense. They're going to bring a range of people of aesthetics and skill levels and taste levels, because that makes a believable arc of elimination.
Yeah, the whole.
Oh.
But one more time, let's look at it.
All right, Cynthia Kiss.
Cynthia Kiss. I I didn't love this. The first thing that came to mind when I saw this was Violet's ugly dress runway from season 7, but a sort of less complete version of this. I didn't like the oversized white fishnets. I didn't love where it hit. It's unfortunate because underneath this, it looked like there was a rather intricate bodysuit, and you never saw it. I didn't really care for the hair. This was a miss for me.
Miss for me too, especially with the hair. I thought it didn't look like sexy messy. I thought it looked a little ratty messy, like stuffed in a suitcase and not brushed out kind of thing, or brushed out from curls. And with the bodysuit underneath, I saw that too, and I thought that looks like the colors match and the pattern definitely doesn't. And I thought she must have found that somewhere, something just like ready to wear. And yeah, I feel like she didn't want to showcase it because it might have given away that it was, gasp and horror H&M-y kind of thing. But yeah, she's beautiful, but this is like the gold runway. It's just, oh my god, can she ever?
That was very impressive.
Yeah, I thought that this was kind of like cute for a little costume party or like something where you're just trying to be campy, but it didn't read to me as like draggedy drag.
Yeah, it does sort of read as kind of like last minute thrown together clown Halloween costume. Yeah, not the one for me.
Oh,
this, however,
this is immediately legend of drag race.
This is iconic.
Oh my god.
This is fucking fantastic. Pythia, yes, absolutely, 100% owns my entire left areola. This was so well done. The concept of it, this sort of like American Horror Story, like vintage, kind of like a 1920s inspired fortune teller. The colors are fantastic. The choice of material, I think, is really cool. The embellishment along the hem of the skirt, this really like graphic fishnet, and you can see a little bit of the garter. The level of detail and the effort put into matching the makeup and the hair, the oversized jewelry, the fucking cigarette holder. This was so good.
Oh, there's a whole story. How about the symmetrical but mirrored wigs with the exact same wave, and this really read to me as a neat campy drag take on the Gucci runway, where they had their own heads, and that they were, Pythia's was really just as good as those professionally made ones for that show. And also the colorway and the styling of this also gave 2018 Gucci. I thought it had awesome references and execution.
Yeah, this is just such a strong visual storytelling image. And it fits the theme so well too.
And I think it's smart to do looks like this and smart to do looks like Eve's, because if you want to have lots of fan art to repost, my goodness, people are going to love to draw this and get likes of their own off of redesigning it. So, and I agree, Garden Plaza, I feel like this is going to end up being one of my favorite looks ever.
Yeah, and I think this is a really good example as well of there's a lot of talk about drag needing to be bigger and be more, and this is yes, she has an entire second head, but this is an understanding of where to put focus and how to do sort of simplicity in terms of aesthetics and shape and design, and be really impactful with it.
Oh yeah, definitely. I wanted to say that too. Like the way that the purple sash and the way that the necklaces are all hanging are all working in to make the fact that that head is on an angle at least look as convincing as it can. And God, she's so good. So good.
Yeah, this is some top tier material.
Hmm.
I
Love
kind of
those
wish that they'd
tights.
asked her how's your head, and she said which one. Uh,
Yes. Okay.
okay, Kimura Amore. I really liked the idea behind this. I wish there had been some changes in the application, but I really like the sort of like the base garment of it. I like that it's, she said herself, it's all the things that are kind of like left over at the end of the night. So it's popcorn bags and like drinks containers and just like candy wrappers and stuff like that. I think that's a really fun take on it. I don't understand the the choice to do the makeup the way she did. And granted, she had a very sort of like distinct Bianca Del Rio paint because that was who she was paying homage to. Um, I wish she'd done something a little different there, and I don't love the way that the boots work. I think they're supposed to be
Yeah.
garbage bags, but I wish
Yes.
that the execution of that had been a little bit different. But overall, I do really like this conceptually.
Yeah, you know what would have been great for these to really read more as garbage bag is to have the pull string ties like tied up
Oh
in the front with
yeah,
a bow. That would have been great. This concerned me because I thought we're week 2 and I'm seeing only from you this idea of gluing a ton of stuff onto a garment because she came out and I thought, "Oh, wow, this is gives me flavors of the napkin dress."
mm-hmm.
Um I was so confused by the headpiece. It gave me such Wonder Woman that, and as
Yes.
did the makeup. The makeup gave me like a superhero kind of thing that I couldn't figure this out until she started talking about what it was. I wouldn't have known that's what this was trying to bring at all. I would have thought it's like super garbage superhero.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is crowded. It is a
Crowd is a
lot
great word for
to
it. Yeah.
figure out, and I do wish that there'd kind of been. It was easier to read. I think is what I would like, and I agree about the headpiece. I don't understand where
Yeah.
that fits in, but again, the concept of this and the execution of it, I think were fine.
One thing I do really love with it is the main fabric across the bust. It really looks like the carpet in
Oh yeah.
like kind of theaters and stuff. It's good.
Oh yeah, and then if the broom had been bigger or something like that.
Yeah,
I forgot
yeah.
she even had it, even in looking at the photo.
Suki
Okay,
doll.
Suki doll. Uh, mm, this was kind of disappointing, especially after Suki's like entrance and her first runway. I was hoping that we were going to get something a little more exciting than this cat suit, basically this like bunny cat suit with fingers, and she had a whole thing where she pulled something out of the hat, and I don't know why she was carrying the big top.
Yeah, to me that seemed like she um she had the idea for the rabbit out of the hat kind of storyline, but it wasn't quite enough to give. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of how this is put together. I don't like that there's this sort of like striping on one side of the cat suit and not the other. I mean, you have the striping on the arm and then the striping on the body and then on one of the ears, but
And sorry, these are pre-bought boots as well. There's people in Toronto who own these. So without the $400 boots, I don't know that this would have also given the same zhuzh. And I feel like a big part of the outfit was just the boots that.
yeah,
Yeah.
this
Oh my god, Papa Joe, holy
I
fucking
know.
shit.
Breeze
Oh
is the
my
annoyed from
god.
Domino's Pizza, and
It
yes, it
does.
does.
Oh, my Oh, that's great.
Yeah,
Makeup was cool.
makeup was cool, and especially I think like this was also kind of as disappointing because for someone who prides themselves on being as like detail oriented as Suki does, there's really not a lot of detail to this look.
Yeah, yep. It's got Christmas to it
It
too.
reads as peppermint. Like,
Yeah, yep.
okay, this is Adriana, I believe,
As
as a
okay.
Cirque du Soleil performer, basically.
Yeah,
That's
she never said Cirque du Soleil. She said,
said
I'm an
aerialist or
aerial
something.
artist. And I was like, you could never come out on a runway and I would be like, oh my god, circus. Oh my god, aerial artist. This just
Yeah.
feels like she has a sickening look that she wanted to find a place for.
I mean, this is fantastic. The
Oh yeah.
airbrushing on the catsuit is wonderful. It is entirely stoned and looked great, like under the lights, because all the color matching. I kind of wish that the sort of like overcoat had a little more detail to it, or had some sort of like flow, especially if she's like an aerialist, something that would have given some like movement to it. But I think this is great.
Rude awakening. Do you think the pube action is too much?
No, it's just a giant V from these oversized shoulders right down into the crotch.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's true. That does really help with the shoulders into that. It's true.
Yeah.
It really anchors it. But it is funny as that comment came in, I was like, oh whoa, that's a really stoned crotch. Okay.
We love a stoned crotch here on Dress Code.
I loved how there was fins in the hair that kind
Yes.
of led into
So-
the fins of the shoulders.
Little nod to Alexander McQueen's Glitters Atlantis collection.
Oh yes, totally.
Yeah, I think this was really cool.
Yeah. Oh,
Okay.
wowee.
Stephanie Price. This was great. And the presentation of this was also really good. The only thing I don't like about this is the shoes being blue. Everything else is
Yeah.
entirely like monochromatic. Looking at it in still, I do kind of get like Santa vibes from it. But this like bearded lady burlesque performer, she came out with the fans like covering a majority of the front of her body. Sorry, Stephanie Prince.
Everybody is doing that. It's so weird.
It's just one of those things. It's just like the Stephanie Price is right. I really like this.
I loved it. This like took my breath away when it came out. The beard braided and hung between the titties is so hot and funny. Like that, what a great way for it to hang, you know, because it kind of
Yeah.
gives like inches hitting the butt crack kind of vibe.
But on the front, yeah.
Yes. I'm consistently more and more impressed with her all the time. I thought that this was really good.
Yeah, she did very well, both like in the challenge and on the runway, and I think she should have gotten more praise for it.
Me too. I was a little
Again,
surprised.
wish the shoes were different, but personal choice. All right, so we are now on to Drag Race UK.
Yes.
And the theme was Expanny Hanny, so expensive drag, which is an interesting choice for a runway theme.
Yeah, well, and I thought it was funny too. They said expensive looking.
Yeah, like, tell us your drag is classes without telling us your drag is classes.
Yes, right?
So, up first, we have Miss Ella Vidae. And did you get a shot of the back of this? Because that's
Yes.
the most interesting part of it for me.
Oh, you know what? Hold on. Let me swap these out.
No worries. But talking about sort of this look in a general, it is quite plain and quite structured. I get like sort of 80s power suit vibes, but in a little more of a dated way than I would have liked. And then she turns around and you see all of this crystal detailing down the back. I actually think I've seen the sort of like runway reference that this is copying. I've seen the, like runway photos of this sort of exact idea. And I think this is a pretty decent replica of it. I do agree that I think the hair and the sort of overall shapes going on here did kind of age her.
Okay, so I see what you're saying with the aging thing. I loved that, and I have loved that about Ella, that she brings mature woman energy. It doesn't have to necessarily be the sex on legs kind of thing.
Mm.
It's so, and that's the other thing when they were saying, "Oh, this is makes you look older or whatever," especially the hair. I was like, "Yeah, she's a rich bitch." That makes me think of like older woman. Yeah. So I kind of felt the opposite with that. I liked that, and I loved this hair. I didn't know how Michelle hated it.
I do really like the hair. I think it's funny that you say that. It's got me a little bit thinking because from the front, this does read very rich bitch, but I think the back of it being this kind of like nude illusion with all of this drapery of crystal,
Hmm.
I think does feel like it's trying to make this like surprise I'm also sexy thing, but the two don't really meet for me. Also, the fact that the collar goes like around the top at the back and like sort of cuts off that line of the
Yeah,
neck.
yeah.
I think the collar actually might be my biggest problem with this look in general, because the hem of it has this like stoning detailing coming up from it, and if she'd cut the collar lower so it looked like the necklace was just like part of the neckline, I think it would have read stronger for me.
Hmm. Yeah. It was. I feel like it was our only really like um formal look. I feel like
Mm.
after this we had a little bit.
It's all right. We had Scarlet Harlot as Miranda Priestley as a pimp as whatever else she described herself as. I think this is one of Scarlett's stronger looks. It does feel kind of like a direct reference, and it doesn't feel like she's done a whole lot to make it her own. But I'm also slightly biased because I do really like silver hair and this kind of like white monochromatic fur moment. I agree that she shouldn't have gotten rid of the cane so early because
Mm,
that really sort of helped to sell this not just being a Miranda Priestley cosplay. Um, yeah, it was all right. I also think that this being as pale as it is, we finally get to see some sort of like definition and like shaping and like tone in her face, which is the first time I think all season we've been able to say that. But
yeah, and even
she had an
still.
episode this
She
week.
sure did. She's really fragile it seems when it comes to any kind of criticism. But
Hmm.
I did see why she was so upset. It would be very hard to handle for everybody to have picked you or the majority and then moments later for those very people to be telling you to take it with a grain of salt. I felt like it wasn't the time maybe to be asking her to temper her emotions. Um,
Yeah,
and listen, everybody, if someone's pissy and they walk away, that's not them being rude. That's them making sure that they can be responsible in the way that they reply to you. So,
yeah, and also like there's of course the added pressure of like the fact that all of this is being filmed and there's really nowhere that these people can go to like be emotional in private when they are on set. So
yeah.
there's a lot going on here, but I mean I had a lot of feelings about this week's episode of Drag Race UK. It just felt wild in a lot of like unpleasant ways.
Mm,
So
definitely. But yeah, this gave me very like I liked it. I thought that this was a great look, and yeah, we just need to see a bit more color in her face.
okay, Kitty. Take two. Kitty Scott Claus. Um. No. No. I mean, it's supposed to be like expensive looking drag. I get that she went sort of a campy route and had like pound coins as this kind of embellishment on this nude bodysuit, but this doesn't look expensive to me.
No, and not when you have Charity Case, who we'll see in a bit,
Uh,
who is stoned head to toe in these exact colors. This felt really cheaply done.
yes, this is also not the only one of these that we had this week. This sort of like nude bodysuit covered in rhinestones
I
and or
agree.
embellishment.
I agree so much with this suit burns better. This hair, I loved this length bang on her, the way it was like
Yes.
dusting over her eyes. Her makeup was beautiful. Her body always, the shapes she achieves with her body are amazing.
Yes. It did not do it with this bodysuit.
Yep, unfortunately.
All right, Theresa May.
I have controversial opinions about this, Amara.
All right, let's hear them. What's up?
I fucking loved it. I loved it. And right away, it gave me like a Quentin Tarantino version of like somebody in the 70s who has new money, who's going to Las Vegas. I immediately got a whole story from this, and I thought she looked super hot. So I see what they're saying with how it looked cheap, but it also gave me a bit of like era and
Mm.
yeah. So that's just me. That's just me.
I do like the look. I don't think it was my favorite choice thematically. Um, I think for me there needed to be something a little bit more to it, and the fact that it was a like a Gold Rush inspired look. The first thing that came to my mind is like not everyone who went and like was part of the Gold Rush like actually made money off of it.
Yeah.
So it was one of those things where it's just like there wasn't just enough like oomph behind the narrative or enough sort of like logic behind the narrative
Yeah.
for me to buy into it. But I do like your explanation of it being like a 70s Tarantino like new money thing. I absolutely see. And if she'd given me that kind of a story, I would have bought
Right?
into it more.
I always like project these things on it, and then they say what they're actually doing. I'm like, no, 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 no.
No, wait, I have a better idea. Wait, hold on. But I do think, like, this is it's very clean, and it's very well done. I like the length of the fringe. I like this hair on her, I think, is really nice. We're talking about hair.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
The fact that everything's, like, we've got these red details. You can see the lining of the garment, the little lapels bringing it up into the face, the red lip, and you have this just, like, contrast. Maybe her face looks really good. Maybe it's because we can't see her eyebrows, which are usually a source
Oh,
of
yeah.
contention.
Her distant cousin eyebrows.
Yes, they were roommates.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe if she'd like stoned the cowboy boots or something, I would have liked this a little bit. Or like stoned the red embellishment.
Yes.
I would have liked it a little bit more, or like I would have bought into the narrative a little bit more. But I do like it.
Even like, I'm only seeing now that we have the, like, oh, what's that called? Not ram's head, but you know what I'm saying, on her belt, which to me also gives
Oh,
very
yes.
rich Texan. That should
Yeah,
have been
yeah.
exaggerated. That should have been seen more.
Yeah, I completely lost that until you pointed it out.
Yes. Okay, well.
I like that this just says Versace. Crystal Versace. Eh.
I mean, I thought it looked expensive until I looked at the shoes.
Yeah. It's one of those things where it's like I think she was trying to do like a blondes thing and just like be covered in crystals from head to toe. I personally am not a fan of like just a catsuit unless there's some like really intense like really detailed embellishment going on, and I think a lot of this was just like done in the fabric. Like if there'd been a really like intricate stoning pattern on this, or there'd been some sort of like design that emphasized her body or the shapes that she was going for, I think I would have bought into it a little bit more. But this didn't really do it for me.
Yeah, okay, right when it came out, I loved it. I thought, oh my god, she's just a big diamond. Of course she looks expensive. It's just twinkling and dazzling. The shoes really took me out of it. And yeah, I see how it's very simple, especially, again, sorry, not to bring up Gucci again, but especially when
No.
they had that full-on Swarovski netted suit that was kind of popular. Rihanna wore it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that really read a lot better, obviously, but I think that there's a lot better knockoffs of it than this.
I also think that the hair is throwing me a little bit. I agree with you about the shoes. I wish that they were different. I also wish that, like, if you're gonna go stoned head to toe, like, wear some stoned shoes. I almost would
Yes.
have loved, like, short hair with this.
Oh yeah. Oh yes. Um, Speaking of short hair, I know
Yes.
that we're supposed to only talk about fashion. She is so funny for such a young person. That impersonation she did of like the hot mom in the dog walking thing.
Oh, that
God
was,
damn.
yeah.
Funny, funny, funny.
You can tell she's been around that type of person a
Oh,
lot.
yes. Oh my God. Yep. So, I think that she's bringing a lot of strong points. We may see her limitations soon, like Papa Joe was saying, in
Yeah.
that sex is really all she brings to it. But I don't know. She's quite funny, quite
Yeah.
talented. Oh my goodness.
Oh, River Medway. This, I think, was the best look of this run. Well, actually, maybe Charity's. But this, this I loved. I loved the cultural references to it. I loved just like the way that she wore it, the proportions of it on her body looked, I think it was said several times, like just regal. And you could tell that she felt fantastic in this.
Her makeup was beautiful with it as
Yeah,
well.
she looks lovely.
Yep.
Lovely. And it looks so expensive.
Yeah, River Medway, I think, is she came out hot from the beginning, hilarious in the first episode. She seems confident. Her talking heads are great, and then each week we're seeing. Okay, let's forget the Spice Girls look. Each
And the
week,
music one.
oh God, okay, so we're seeing some really good looks sometimes.
We're
Okay,
not seeing all good looks, but
but
she's
when they're
showing us
good,
versatility.
they're fucking good. Okay,
Okay, Charity Case.
yeah.
This was great. This was great.
Amara, I'd love to see you in this. I think you
I would
would.
love to see me in this too.
Yeah, this is very you.
This just like broken jewelry covered corset, this like these like maleficent horns coming off of the head, these extended fingers, these like wrapped up like laced boot shoe things. I think this is wonderful.
Yeah, same. And I love the makeup. I think it's really great. I think it tells a cool story. This character exists somewhere in my mind, like it feels like a real thought out thing. But then I also see what the judge's point was. This is a very comfortable look for her, and it is really out of the box for Drag Race. And it would be like when we had Got Mick in Drag Race. That's someone who has a very extreme, purposeful look, but did soft glam and showed that they're versatile. And Charity seems to not want to stray from what she wants to do.
No, and I admire her dedication to her aesthetics and to her brand. It seems like the only time that she's done something more quote unquote beautiful, softer, whatever they were trying to sort of like traditional for the Drag Race stage is like when she has to. Like in the challenge this week, she did, for lack of a better word, I'm gonna say she painted a bit more human. But we have sort of consistently, other than her her orange fringe look, I think she's had some sort of like prosthetic character makeup on everything that she's presented. And I agree. I think it was a little bit like, do we get to see anything else from her in a presentation, or is this like the only thing that she feels comfortable presenting? And it is fantastic what she does. But I would have liked to have seen a little more variety. We're how many weeks in now? So
And for me, I think a part of it is that it makes it hard to compare to the other girls and be like, who do we think is going to go home and stuff? Because it's a very apples and oranges thing, and
yes.
it's kind of unfair for it to always win or whatever because of that in the suit. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I think I'm softening on it now, seeing it still. The way that it is giving her like a multifaceted sort of twinkle is different than just a plain stone. So that's kind of neat.
Yeah, and again, this is one of those things that like the seeing it in movement and seeing the light play off it definitely did it a lot more favors than seeing it as a still image. Yeah, I agree with you. I also think that this sort of like the way that things are draped could have done with a little finessing. I feel like these points that are coming sort of from the wrist up to the shoulder and then down into kind of the center of the bodice could have been different lengths. It would have been, I think, really exciting if like the ones from her wrist down to the shoulder like touch the floor or something like that. Were just like extremely long.
You know what? I thought the exact same thing. I would have loved to see that level of dripping.
Yeah, just like it's everywhere. It's I'm leaving diamonds behind me, that kind of a thing.
Yes, totally.
But she is definitely progressing in her makeup. We are seeing she looks quite a bit softer than she has in past weeks, so she's definitely taking critique on board. And I think this is one of the strongest looks that we've seen her in.
Yeah, okay. I kind of wondered as well if her being, it looked like in the mini challenge when they were filming their things, it kind of looked like a bit of, I'm trying to say Aquaria, Crystal's makeup a little. And I thought, oh, maybe there was a bit of conversation happening between that group that helped them all look great for the commercial and then added some skills, you know?
Yeah.
But I love seeing a queen up her makeup game. I feel like that shows so much fight and humility. I love it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's it, Imarra.
We did it. We made it through.
We done did it.
What do you think? Did you have a favorite look from each episode?
Yeah, Pythia. Pythia
I
and
agree.
Pythia. And then, gosh, from UK, you know what? I'm so tacky and cheap that to me, I like crystals. I'm gonna say I'm going with crystals. I liked the sparkle. I'm like a magpie.
You know what? I do not hold that against you.
I was
I think-
dazzled.
Yeah, and that's totally fine. I think I agree with you. Pythia is my favorite from Canada's Drag Race, and I think I'm gonna go with Crystals as my favorite from Drag Race UK.
Yeah, which is saying a lot. I thought, you know.
Yeah.
Weird.
How about
weeks.
least favorite looks? Any of those?
Yeah, okay. Least favorite from Canada, I'm going to say Suki Doll. And I know that it has more going on than Cynthia Kisses, but I don't know. It didn't appeal to me. It felt really off. And my least favorite was, sadly, Kitty Scott Claus.
It's a toss-up between Cynthia and Suki for me. I think the kind of sort of costumey, like Halloween aspect that Cynthia's had pushes it a little bit farther into least favorite territory, and I will agree with you. I think Kitty's missed the mark the hardest this week.
Yeah. Oh my god, it was so weird. It's like had like 18 coins on it.
Right? Like you could have afforded to buy a better bodysuit with the embellishment on it, but
Hey, well, we got a couple minutes left. Let's talk about drag queens dressing as little girls again. Once again, we had Cynthia Kiss. That was so messed up. The way that they had her dressed like a little hee-hee and a pinafore and like everything, and then we're sexualizing the fuck out of it. I was like, please no more of this on this show.
yeah, there were some cursed vibes going on with both of the episodes this week because
Absolutely.
Lizzie and I were also talking about there was a whole like conversation between RuPaul and Theresa May about her tuck, about her genitals, and it wasn't the only time it happened because it came back again in the runway critiques, and it was treated as a joke essentially.
RuPaul loves to give shitty people shitty things to say that they can back up by saying, well, this famous drag queen said it.
Yeah, or
I
it's like
think
it's
that's his
satire,
kink.
it's parody, it's whatever, and it's actually incredibly harmful.
Yeah. RuPaul stays losing, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, and one more thing. Why is RuPaul laughing so much all the time, huh? What's with
And
this
why is RuPaul laughing like that?
like that? I was saying to Imarra before we started, it's this panicked laughing, but it also comes with direct eye contact. For
Yeah.
no matter how long the laughing goes on for, RuPaul is looking right at you.
And seems to not blink.
Yeah.
Just like staring you. I made the comparison. It's like one of those like laughing skull Halloween decorations. Like the eyes are dead, and it's just making sound for the sake of making sound bites
Yes.
and
absolutely.
potentially scaring the children.
Well, Imarra, are you going? Do you have any Halloween looks you're doing this year?
Maybe. I've tried not to think about next weekend because it's just going to be chaotic for me. So I will cross that terrifying bridge when I get there.
Well, where can people follow you if they want to see what you do?
Well, you can follow me on Instagram at _IMARRA. That is usually where I do most of my shit posting and trying to pretend that I'm somewhat professional. But you can always find me here on Fridays, giving you all kinds of opinions, good, bad, and ugly, on what I think drag should look like.
Your opinions are the only ugly thing about you, Imarra.
I had to have something. Wink.
Okay, well, next up, we have a very special edition of Speakeasy Radio. Allison and I are abandoning everything, and we're just going to try to scare the shit out of ourselves tonight with jump scare games.
Oh my god.
Which I hate, which makes me so ragey. So
I feel you on that. I do not do well with any. It just takes me back to like early internet days.
yeah. Yeah. I just want to see if we can keep our cool and not have a temper tantrum by the end of the night. So let's see.
Well, tune in and find out who loses their shit first.
Yes. Okay, thanks again, Imarra.
Thank you. We'll see you next week.
Bye.